Welcome to the Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's top stories, Tzu Chi volunteers are getting ready for the Tri celebration to be held at the Chiang Kai-Shek Memerial Hall in Taipei this Sunday. In a new series of feature reports, we find out what Taiwan's government is doing to help those with disability find a steady job. And in Hong Kong, Tzu Chi volunteers are taking to the streets to promote vegetarianism to the general public. First up in Taiwan, with Tzu Chi's Buddha Day ceremony just around the corner, on May 4th, members of Tzu Chi's emergency rescue team and 30 Tzu Chens arrived at the Chiang Kai-Shek Memorial Hall in Taipei to rehearse for the hoisting of the Buddha banner. Let's take a look.
Following the chanting of the Buddhist scripture, a 15-meter high and 10-meter wide Buddha banner slowly rises to the top of the building. This solemn scene touches the hearts of many in the audience. As in previous years, the Tzu Chi emergency rescue team and Tzu Chens will be responsible for hosting the Buddha banner at the Buddha Day ceremony here at Chiang Kai-Shek Memorial Hall.
We will have 30 Tzu Chi brothers hoisting it at the same time, or else it will be skewed.
This is Tzu Chi volunteer Jiang Hongxiong, who works in the banner industry and has participated in Tzu Chi's Buddha Day ceremony for 6 consecutive years. Following a volunteer's instruction, everyone practices the movements repeatedly while others guide them from above.
We will be using walkie-talkies to inform our Tzu Chi brothers if the banner is too high or too low, so they can adjust to the right position accordingly.
As part of the solemn Buddha Day ceremony, other than flawless teamwork, the volunteers also need to learn to endure high temperatures and overcome the fear of heights.
We will have to use a ladder and climb to the 5th floor. At the top of 5th floor, there will be a big wheel, and we will need to fix the Buddha banner to it.
Following each practice, the placement of the banner becomes more accurate.
I'm amazed by our Tzu Chi brothers. Everyone is doing their best to complete this task to perfection.
Thanks to these hard-working volunteers, this year's Buddha Day ceremony would definitely be a memorable one.
Tzu Chi volunteers worldwide have begun preparations for the upcoming Buddha Day celebration. To invite more people to join in this solemn occasion, Tzu Chi volunteers from Hsinchu, Taiwan, organized a Buddha Day ceremony at a local market, which was attended by members of the public and shop owners.
Many local residents ask if we are still holding the Buddha Day ceremony this year, as they all received our blessings last year, so this year we're going to reciprocate the blessing.
Whether having attended a Buddha Day ceremony before or not, volunteers arrive at the local market, inviting local residents to participate. One shop owner also offered to provide the venue for the ceremony.
When Tzu Chi volunteers asked me if they could use this venue, I was so pleased and I agreed immediately.
Everyone came together to brainstorm ideas. This is a good location for holding the Buddha Day ceremony, as it can attract more crowds, so we held our Buddha Day ceremony here last year as well.
Many parents brought their children to attend this solemn occasion, and this Tri celebration has become an event for the entire family to take part in.
Because I have to work on Mother's Day, so I came to attend today. It will make my mother happier too.
After attending the Buddha Day ritual, I feel like after 8 years, I can finally let go of the sadness for the loss of my mother.
Through the Buddha Day rituals, not only have hearts been cleansed, but participants have also come to understand the importance of fulfilling filial duties.
After the 88 flats left a trail of destruction in southern Taiwan in 2009, Taidong Tzu Chi volunteers have since formed good affinities with Taimali residents. Volunteers recently returned to hold a Spread the Seeds of Love event to share the meaning behind Tzu Chi's Tri celebrations this weekend with villagers from Jialan and Sanhe. Here at a local temple in Taimali township of Taidong County, Tzu Chi volunteers are holding a Spread the Seeds of Love event to bring their Mother's Day wishes to the villagers. Arriving at Jialan village, the introductory event on Tzu Chi inspired some residents to join volunteers' ranks.
I would like to join Tzu Chi's work in serving our community because this organization really put our donations to good use. Every time I tune into Da'ai TV, I can see how our donations are helping the needy.
Despite the language barrier and differences in background, the Taiwanese opera program on Da'ai TV is a show watched by many.
Though we indigenous people don't understand Taiwanese, I watch your program of Bodhi Mind at 2 p.m. every afternoon, as well as the one by Sun Cui Feng, so I got to know more about Tzu Chi. I'm grateful each day and cherish my blessings.
In spreading Tzu Chi's humanitarian spirit, volunteers hope these seeds of love will one day blossom and in turn bring light to every dark corner of society. 98-year-old Li Chen has 8 children, more than a dozen grandchildren, and even more great-grandchildren. Apart from those offspring who live abroad, those in Taiwan take turns watching over the nonagenarian 24/7, for they know to have an elderly at home is like having a treasure at their fingertips.
Mom, I am home.
One by one, Li Chen children, grandchildren and great-grandchildren come home, bringing a smile to her face. Those who live far away call regularly to make sure she's doing fine. The senior is already 98 years old. After her husband passed away several years ago, Grandma Li's health deteriorated and can no longer climb up and down stairs. Her third son, Li Shunfu, thus moved her bedroom to the first floor of their home and, together with his 7 siblings, watches over his mother 24/7. Singing a hymn together, a loving embrace or a hot foot bath all help lift Grandma Li's spirits.
Washing her feet will help improve her blood circulation. When we were small, Mom changed our diapers and fed us. Now that she is old, it is our turn to watch over her.
For her children, Grandma Li's feet never stopped, no matter how tired she was.
I'm grateful to my parents. They were just ordinary farmers, but managed to send us 3 brothers to college and my 2 sisters to high school.
Grandma Li gave birth to her youngest daughter at 43. Though her burden grew, she remained optimistic and content. Her children are now just like her and all grateful for their blessings.
The one who's most filial and cares for my mom the best is my youngest sister-in-law.
Caring for their mother as if she was a precious heirloom, Grandma Li's children just want to reciprocate her love. Taiwan's unemployment rate continues to rise, and for the nation's over 1.1 million people who suffer from disabilities, finding a job is even more difficult. Currently, our government is promoting a work model called Special Subsidiary Enterprise, where incentives are given to companies who hire disabled workers. In Tainan, a steel company has become the first special subsidiary enterprise in Taiwan, with 20% of its workers having special needs.
It was at a brick-making area, and there was a belt to transport things. I was playing there with my older brother, and I wasn't being careful, and my arm got caught in the belt. And well, that's it.
你好，你好，我们这边请，不好意思。
Xue Qingyuan is a disabled employee at Taiwan's first special subsidiary enterprise. His job as a tour guide is not a job he takes lightly.
Over here, we're entering our welding area. Over there is the bending machine. After items are bent, they are sent here to get welded. Then we use a grinder. We grind things down levels so they won't cut people.
身心障碍者在找工作方面都是
It's difficult for those with disabilities to find a job. It took me about a year or so to find one. It was great at first, then after a while, the other workers would look at you differently. In the end, I left.
好像有点受伤啊。
Statistics show those with disabilities suffer from an unemployment rate 3 times higher than those without disabilities. To address this issue, Taiwan's government is encouraging larger companies to incorporate its special subsidiary enterprise model. On this particular day, the Employment Service Center is doing a job placement follow-up.
A special subsidiary enterprise model is basically a platform to help those who suffer from disabilities to be able to find employment. This program also helps to promote a positive perception of those with disabilities in society.
For corporations, the model is also a way to give back to society.
There are many ways to give back to society. I feel the easiest is to provide employment options for those with special needs. It's like opening a window. Many times, what is originally a negative can become a positive. For example, in work fields where there is a lot of noise pollution, for the average worker, they might not be able to fall asleep at night because of the noise pollution. However, for someone who is hearing impaired, they won't have that problem. They will be able to work well in that situation.
After adjusting certain workplace environments, companies are able to place disabled employees in suitable jobs.
Those who are vision impaired are slightly at risk in a factory, so they can only do assistant jobs. They are more suited for jobs that work to assist others.
I have photophobia, so the company has arranged for me to work indoors, where I am not in contact with the sun.
Repetitive tasks are suited for people with low mental ability. They enjoy doing those tasks and will feel a sense of accomplishment in finishing the task. They are more motivated to work than the average worker. This is what I've seen in employing those with special needs. If the company is willing to teach me, then I'm willing to learn. Being a tour guide is one of my hobbies. I've always wanted to learn this skill. Coming here, I see my goal, and this is what I want to do.
Thanks to this model, the stage is set for disabled individuals to star in their dreams.
The Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital recently incorporated smart technology into their nursing care system. With a mobile nursing cart and wireless technology, a patient's physiological data is immediately transferred to a doctor's smartphone or tablet computer, enabling them to better understand the condition of their patients anytime and anywhere.
Here, a nurse enters the ward with a new mobile nursing cart. Blood pressure measurements and blood sugar levels are stored directly in the computer. With a beep, the patient's physiological data is immediately sent to the attending doctor's smartphone or tablet computer.
Your inflammation is getting better. Your vital signs appear to be okay.
Doctors can now treat patients without delay, and test results are also instantaneously available.
With the advancement of wireless technology, we can now match the patient's prescribed medication to their ID, which is more accurate and efficient.
Anytime, anywhere, medical staff can always be reached in the event of an emergency. Not only has this saved time that was previously used traveling back and forth, no calls will go unnoticed.
Before, if there was an emergency situation, patients would press the panic button, which will alert the medical staff at the nursing station. But if they happen to be attending to other matters, they might arrive too late. With this wireless technology, medical staff will be notified immediately in the event of an emergency.
This innovation not only safeguards the patients staying at the hospital, but those who are visiting the doctor as well.
先跟你做一个那个心情温度计的调查哈，你的那个睡眠的部分啊，会不会有障碍？有。
Whether it is for medical staff or volunteers, through wireless technology, medical care has become more comprehensive, well-rounded, and better at safeguarding the health of all.
Okay. Moving to China, we meet dentist Lei Zhigang from Lushan County of Sichuan Province. Following the Ya'an earthquake, in spite of the damage caused to his clinic, Lei traveled to disaster areas to distribute aid supplies to those in need and even provided free treatments to quake survivors in a mobile dental vehicle outside of his clinic.
你看，这边是哪里？这是治疗室。都不能用了吧？不对。
This is Lei Zhigang, who has been a dentist in Lushan County, Sichuan Province for more than 20 years. Following the tremor which destroyed his clinic, Lei first settled his 90-year-old father at a nursing home before quickly traveling to the disaster zone to hand out aid supplies to the needy.
We need to reciprocate the love we have received in the past, so local residents will understand that we are here on their behalf.
Knowing that the quake survivors lack access to dental care, Dr. Lei decided to hold a free clinic in front of his damaged clinic and even invited other doctors to join.
Since we have the ability to help the survivors, we need to do our share in safeguarding their health.
Everyone in the country is doing what they can to help the survivors, so we need to support them through this difficult time as well.
Touched by Dr. Lei's determination to help the quake survivors, his clinic's medical staff also arrived at the free clinic to help. Although the reconstruction money for his dental clinic is still nowhere to be seen, Dr. Lei insists on helping others first.
I told my staff that as long as we are safe, we can start everything over from scratch.
Despite the road to recovery for Lei Zhigang's dental clinic still being far away, he says as long as one is doing the right thing, nothing is impossible.
In celebration of the 47th anniversary of the Tzu Chi Foundation, Indonesia Tzu Chi volunteers decided to further their spirituality in different ways. One group participated in the Hualien Jingsi Abode Medicine Buddha Sutra study group over the internet, while another group hiked up a mountain as a way to discipline their body and mind.
The day is just breaking outside Indonesia's Jingsi Hall, but already a crowd has gathered. Chanting the Buddha's name, the group marches and bows in unison. Each movement hones their body and mind.
The purpose of this pilgrimage is for all Tzu Chi people to truly take in Master Chen Yin's teachings. It's a chance for self-improvement.
Not only taking the Dharma into their hearts, but also putting it into action, many participants carry on despite their various conditions. Young and old, they all hope to attain enlightenment through the pilgrimage. I wanted to take part in this pilgrimage because I wanted to understand what it is about. Before, I was unfamiliar with such an activity.
Halfway through, I was already worn out, but taking part in such a pilgrimage has helped me achieve inner peace. I was able to throw away my conceit and purify my mind.
While in North Jakarta's Pantai Indah Kapuk, 180 volunteers furthered their spirituality by joining the Hualien Jingsi Abode's Medicine Sutra study session over the internet.
Dan tujuannya adalah sebenarnya dari membaca sutra itu bagaimana kita bisa menghayati.
The purpose of studying the Medicine Sutra is to help us understand its deep meaning. We learn from the Buddha and vow to practice his teachings in our lives.
In celebration of 47 years of Tzu Chi, the Batam Tzu Chi Liaison Office has also prepared birthday buns filled with blessings.
In Taiwan's Kaohsiung, we meet a single father, Mr. Zhuang, who has been caring for his stroke-ridden father for some 20 years, only to later suffer a stroke himself. Besides losing his job, the man was also left to raise his 2 children alone after his divorce. Recently, Mr. Zhuang's mother was also hospitalized after becoming ill, and Tzu Chi volunteers arrived to comfort this family in need. Though surrounded by Tzu Chi volunteers, Mrs. Zhuang still seems troubled by something. Knowing her son shoulders the responsibility of taking care of his stroke-ridden father and 2 children, Mrs. Zhuang feels guilty that she now too has to rely on his care.
Seeing my mom like that, it really saddens me. I knew she was troubled by something, yet there wasn't anything I could do to help.
Having cared for his father since he turned 20, Mr. Zhuang later suffered a stroke himself and was also left with 2 children to raise after his divorce. Through it all, it was his mother's support that gave him the strength to go on. Unfortunately, his mother was hospitalized in February.
I'm more of a positive person, and I think differently than others. I don't see taking care of my parents as a burden.
Some 20 days after volunteers' visits, Mrs. Zhuang's condition worsened and she fell into a coma. Upon learning of the news, Tzu Chi volunteers arrived once again with emotional support and encouraged her son to write down his well wishes and pray for his mother's speedy recovery. Moving to Hong Kong, Tzu Chi volunteers were mobilized to encourage members of the public to go meatless by introducing the benefits of vegetarianism. The volunteers hope that through their efforts, more and more people can change their eating habits to not only benefit their own health, but also safeguard the planet at the same time.
Inside this food court, many are enjoying their meals while a group of people are singing nearby. Let's take a closer look at what they are doing. Today, Hong Kong Tzu Chi volunteers are holding an event to introduce Tzu Chi and promote the benefits of vegetarianism to members of the public.
One chef said that he had watched diet TV programs in the past, so through today's event, we want to introduce Tzu Chi and promote vegetarianism to even more people.
To encourage members of the public to go meatless, Hong Kong Tzu Chi volunteers are mobilized to promote vegetarianism in food courts, shopping malls, and in the streets.
We don't have to eat animals. We can eat vegetables, beans, grains, and much more. We can find all the nutrients our body needs in vegetables.
Other than promoting the benefits of vegetarianism, volunteers have also set up a booth that is filled with interactive games to educate passers-by on environmentalism.
We have prepared games, handicrafts, and much more to educate the public on how to contribute their share in safeguarding our planet.
Through today's event, members of the public realized that changing their eating habit is not only good for their health, but also for the planet.
In Canada, as the government is carrying out a project to beautify a garden near the Richmond Tzu Chi Academy, Tzu Chi volunteers invited the students there to take part in the gardening work together. Though it is the first gardening experience for many, students quickly picked up the tips from the government staff on site. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.